Hey everyone, today I'm going to be demonstrating the new Simple GIS Collaborate Plugin extension for the Simple GIS client application. And essentially what this plugin extension allows you to do is to package a Simple GIS client project file along with all related data into a single compressed file that can then be shared with other team members or users. You could also package individual layer files if you didn't need to package your entire project file. And so essentially this tool was built to allow collaboration among team members to easily share data or projects. Or for instance, if you had a simple GIS project that you were working on your desktop and you were going to be traveling and wanted to access this data and information from your laptop, this tool will allow you to do that. In addition, this plugin has a built-in interface to Dropbox to allow you to easily publish this data to your Dropbox account on the cloud so that you can access it from anywhere. So to begin, I have a simple GIS project file that I've created, and in this particular project file I have a couple of data sources. One of them is a web mapping service, tile service that I've loaded, the Stamen terrain tiles. In addition, I have a point shapefile that I've loaded. In this case, I've just called it my points of interest, but this could be whatever data you'd like. For instance, customer data or really any type of data. So in this case, I have already installed the Simple GIS Collaborate plugin. And once you've installed it, if you'll notice on any of your Simple GIS projects to the far right, you should see a new menu option called Simple GIS Collaborate. And if you click on this, you'll see several options here. There is a Simple GIS Collaborate help, so there is a help documentation included with the plugin. You can simply click on this to bring up that documentation. There's an About Simple GIS Collaborate that just gives you information about the plugin. In this case, I have no license information. I'm running the demo or trial version right now. So it would tell you the number of days remaining, for instance, the file version of the plugin, and also a link to the website. But really, as I look under this, the two main menu options that you would use is this package, project or layer menu option, and then there's a load project or layer option here as well. So to begin the demonstration, I'm going to go to this package, project, or layer, and as I click on this menu, of course, since I'm running the trial version, I get this reminder dialog box that pops up that just tells me that I am running the trial version. And within this, I can see it tells me the number of days remaining in my trial. There's also a convenient Buy Now button. If you do decide that you wanted to buy a license, you can simply click on this link to be brought to the store. And of course, if you had a license key, you could just enter that activation code in this text box to register the product. So as I dismiss this box, I now get a new dialog box that pops up. And my first option is I need to choose, am I wanting to package a project file, which would be the project and any layers within the project, or alternatively I could just choose to package the active layer that is active in my map data documents table of contents. So in this case, I see that my active layer is my point shapefile. So if I was to choose that option, it would simply package up that layer, including any legend settings, label definitions, label settings, all of that information. And so the other thing I could do is, by default right now, I can save this or create this package file and save it to a folder on my local machine. In this case, based on the folder I've chosen, any files that had been already created would show up in this right-hand side. In this case, project packages have a file extension of SGPZ. And so since I have my radio button, I've selected project files. I would see any previously created files in that box. And if I double click on it, it would place that file name down here where it's prompting me to enter a file name for my new package file. So if I wanted to overwrite that file, I could simply double click it to place it down here. I'm going to delete this entry out for now. And if I was to choose the layer as the option that I want to package, then of course if I had any layer packages, they would show up in this list box for my selected files. And layer packages have a file extension of LYRZ. So I currently don't have any files that I've created for layers. And again, this is if I was saving the project file to a local folder on my hard drive, or alternatively, if I wanted to publish this file to my Dropbox account, I click the checkbox that says Publish to Dropbox, and when I do, I get this new pop-up that's asking me to sign in to my Dropbox account. So I enter in my user ID, which is typically would be your email address that you registered your Dropbox account with, and then your password for the account. And so as I enter this information and I click the sign in button, it now comes back and I see that my dialog box has changed. It's actually showing me the folders I have available in my Dropbox account. Here in this caption shows me the folder I'm currently looking at in my Dropbox account. Just a single slash indicates that I'm at the root of my Dropbox account. And so within or underneath that root, I have two other folders that I had previously created in my Dropbox. One I had called Simple GIS Package Projects, and the other I have Simple GIS Package Layers. And so if I wanted to, I could click on one of these folders, and as I do, I notice that my caption changes to show that I am currently now looking under this Simple GIS Package Properties folders. I have no other folders or files located underneath that, otherwise they would show in this area here. And if I wanted to, if I needed to navigate back up the folder tree, I could simply come here and click on this button that says go back a folder, and it just brings me back one step up the folder tree. And in this case, I see I'm back at the root indicated by the single slash, and I still have my two folders located underneath the root in my Dropbox account. And of course, if I click on the layers folder, I currently have no files stored in it either. So I'm going to go back up to the root, and I'm going to select this Simple GIS Package Projects folder. Since I'm wanting to package a project file, I'm going to store that, and I'm going to enter in a file name for this new package, and I'm just going to type in a name. I'm going to call this Package Project Example. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put the extension for the file on it, but I wouldn't have to. If you don't have the file extension, Simple GIS will add it for you. And when I click Apply, if I look at the status at the bottom of my dialog, it tells me it is publishing to Dropbox, and it tells you the progress, how many bytes of the total required. And that's it. I have now packaged this project and the related data, which really is just my point shape file, since the other layer is a web service, so there's really no data to go along with it, just the settings for the layer itself. But this is now being packaged to my Dropbox account. And so now if these folders, for instance, I had created in Dropbox were set as shared folders that I had set up and shared with other team members, they could open up this project from their Simple GIS. So to demonstrate this, for instance, if I just create a new project, just assume that either another team member that's going to be working and we're trying to share this data, or maybe I'm on my laptop now away from the office. If I go back to my Simple GIS Collaborate menu, and now I'm going to select Load a Package, and again I get the reminder that I am running the trial version, so I'll just dismiss this for now. And now I get a new dialog box. And if I was loading a package file that was saved on my local hard drive, I could simply come here and select the Choose File from Folder button. And when I would click on this, it would bring up a File Open dialog box. I would go locate the file that I'm wanting to load. And that file, then I would tell it what folder on my local drive where I wanted to extract this package to. So essentially it would explode this compressed file with all of the data into whatever folder I choose. If I was going to pick a file from Dropbox, I would simply click this Choose from Dropbox button. In this case, I didn't have to log in because just a few minutes ago I had logged in to Dropbox when I demonstrated where we published the project. So I'm already signed in, so I don't have to sign in again. But I see I have a very similar to the previous dialog I showed you. It shows me the folder I'm currently looking at in the caption above, which the single slash again indicates I'm looking in the root of my Dropbox account. And I can simply click on the folder that I want to look in, which now I see the caption has changed to indicate which folder I'm looking in. And I see this project package that I published just a few minutes ago. Again, I have this navigation button. If I need to go back a folder, I can just click on this button to move back up the folder tree in my Dropbox account. So again, if I click on the layers folder, of course I don't have any other folders or files in this folder as of yet. So I'm going to go back up my folder tree and I'm going to select my Simple GIS Package Projects folder. And I'm going to select this published file that we just created. And as I select it, if I click open, it has downloaded the file from Dropbox. And I see here in my caption here, my extract dialog, it just created a temporary file where it had downloaded this package to. And now again, I need to select the folder on my local drive where I want to extract the contents of this to. So as I select that and click apply, it's asking me, do I want to save my current project? I don't want to save this project. It was just a new empty project I created. But as I click no, it now opens up that package project that I created. So essentially it downloaded the package file from Dropbox and exploded the contents of that package file into that folder I've chosen in my public documents. And that is what I'm now looking at. And so that covers packaging a project file. But of course, there may be a lot of times when you don't need to package an entire project. You just want to package a layer to share with your team members. And as far as packaging a layer, again, that just packages all of the data plus any symbols and legend settings, any label settings, all into a single file. Pretty much you can package any layer that Simple GIS supports, whether it be shape layer, event layer, with the exception of web services layers, because obviously those are pulling data across the internet, so there's really nothing to package with that. That would be like your web mapping services, tile services, and etc. So again, if you wanted to package a layer, you simply make the layer you're wanting to package the active layer in your table of contents. Then you go back to your Simple GIS Collaborate menu and select Package Project or Layer. Again, I'm getting this trial dialog box since I am running the trial version currently. But if I dismiss this, I'll come back to my package dialog. In this case, I'm going to select active layer that I want to package. And again, I'm going to publish to Dropbox. So I'm going to select this folder, Simple GIS Package Layers. And as I click on this folder, I'm going to give it a file name. And in this case, I'm just going to give it the name of the file that I want to call it. I won't worry about putting the file extension on it. Like I said, Simple GIS will add the file extension if you don't include it. And now as I click apply, it has now loaded that file to Dropbox. And so just to demonstrate again, this would be if I wanted to share this point shapefile, for instance, in this example, with another user, or maybe to my laptop machine or something. And I'll just kind of demonstrate what that would look like if I create a new project file, and in this case I'm basing it on a different base map data source. In this case I'm just using the OpenStreetMap data. And so now I have this new project that I just created with this different base map. And so imagine, if you would, that this is another team member that wanted to look at the data that you just shared. They could go to the Simple GIS Collaborate menu, and underneath it now they would select the Load, Package, Project, or Layer. And as they select this menu option, of course they get the Extract Package dialog box. They would click the Choose from Dropbox. Again, I didn't have to authenticate or log in since I'd already logged in previously. But then they just go to the folder that holds the file. Then they would select the file, click Open. You see that it has downloaded the package file to a temporary location, and then they would just select the folder on their PC where they wanted to extract the contents of this file. So in this case, I'm just going to leave it selected under my public documents under this My Customers folder. And as they select that and click Apply, it extracts the contents of that shapefile into that folder and loads it into our map document. So that's all it would really take to share your shapefile or image layers with others. So hopefully this kind of demonstrates and shows you how easy it is to either share an entire project in its data or just an individual layer. And again, this is just a plugin for the Simple GIS Client application. It does require you to have Simple GIS Client version 10.2.2 at least loaded. So that version or later. For more information, though, as always, just simply visit our website at www.simplegissoftware.com. Thank you.